Hey there, I'm the MadCatster. Am I glad to see you here? Well, we're in the thick of the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, and we've seen and heard some strange things both in testimony and visually in the courtroom, and I want to talk about those, so let's get into it. So before we get into it, I just want to say to those of you who have been following my quest to go out to California in July, on July 9th, to the Ace Fest, so that I can report back to you and live streaming what I see firsthand and the mess that's out there, what's going on, and what the situation is. The fundraiser is about halfway to goal, so if you're interested in donating, whatever you want to give, if you don't want to give, that's fine. It's down below, but I just want to remind you that if we don't make the goal, I will be refunding all the money. If we make the goal, I'm going out there and I'm going to show you firsthand what the hell's going on. If we go over the goal, any excess will be donated to the SOS Rescue Dog and Cat Rescue down in Macon, Georgia. So if you're interested, the link's below. If not, that's fine too. I want to say one thing before I get started is, even though it's a civil trial about defamation, at the center of it, at the core of it, is testimony about DV. And what it is Johnny Depp is alleging that Amber Heard said he did some things that he says he didn't do. And in fact, he's saying that she's the one who did the things and that he is the recipient of the DV. And I just want us to remember that this is a very serious issue. You know, it's not to be taken lightly, even though this is a civil trial. It's still very serious. And the things that have come out have been, in my opinion, horrific. And it sounds like a very dysfunctional relationship on both sides. But we have yet to hear from Miss Heard, and we'll see what she's going to put forward in terms of her version of the event, and then we can make an informed decision on whose credibility is what. Although I do have to say that some of the things I've seen and heard tend to make me think that there's probably some validity to what Johnny Depp is saying, but that, again, still remains to be seen. But anyway, so let's talk about the strange goings-on in the Johnny Depp trial. So in terms of testimony, one of the things that we saw that was really bizarre was one of the witnesses was giving testimony from their vehicle, and he was vaping while he's giving testimony, and he's at one point driving, and it's like, in terms of etiquette, first of all, you shouldn't be vaping, but second of all, when you're trying to give answers to questions in a court proceeding, it's not safe to be driving around. But anyway, so that was pretty bizarre. Then we had questions going about the P word, and there was some testimony that came up about Johnny Depp exchanging texts with actor Paul Bettany, where he says something about burning the other party.
In this text, Mr. Depp, you text Mr. Bettany, "Let's burn Amber," 3 exclamation points, right? You see that?
I do see that.
But when you take it in context, I guess really it was not what it sounded like. So, but they, of course, they're trying to make it into somehow he had animosity. But this was before they were even married. So, you know, I can't believe that that's how he would feel really about someone. And when you read like all the exchange, you can see that it's not to really be taken seriously. They were referencing some movie or something that they both had in common or shared in common. And anyways, that to me, that was testimony was just, they were grasping at straws. But then we had Amber Heard and Johnny Depp on audio where there's no video, and I'm going to play it. But what in essence happened was Amber Heard was ridiculing Johnny Depp, saying, "Oh, what are you going to do? You know, basically tell the world that you're recipient of DV. No one's going to believe you, blah, blah, blah," and basically ridiculing him. That to me was very telling, and I don't think she helped herself at all, because if you are the recipient of DV, that's not something you would say to your partner. And the fact that she held that stereotypical attitude that somehow men can't be recipients of DV, which we all know is absolutely absurd, then you hear people all the time saying, always believe the V. But when it comes to a man in this situation, it's everybody all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, you're a man. It's like, yes, but he could still be, and it's looking like he may have been the recipient of DV. So I don't think she helped herself there at all. And then we had the bizarre situation where Johnny Depp would wear a certain outfit, and then Amber Heard, like the next day, would mimic what he was wearing, either, you know, in color scheme or style or whatever. And that was pretty weird. And people were talking about that all over the place. But her psychologist had said that that could be a symptom of her borderline personality disorder. But either way, it was pretty weird. And also, some people have suggested that maybe she's just playing mind games with him. I don't know what the answer is, but it was pretty strange. Then we had Amber Heard basically in audio admitting that she had put her hands on Johnny Depp, and she tried to brush it off as, oh, well, I didn't punch you. And it's like, yes, but that doesn't excuse striking somebody.
Yeah.
No, we have a closed
You
fist.
didn't get punched. You got hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this, but I did not punch you. I did not fucking deck you. I was hitting you. I don't know what the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you.
So if you're going to put your hands on somebody, I don't care how hard you strike them, it's still DV, you know? So that, again, that was testimony that I thought really helped Johnny Depp's argument. Then there was a couple of things, like there was testimony where they were questioning the forensic psychologist, something about her husband bringing muffins to the set when the evaluation of Amber Heard was going to take place, and I really didn't get where Amber Heard's attorneys were going with that, but that went on tediously for a little bit, and a lot of people were comparing it to the Muffin Man scene in the movie Shrek. So, you know, that was just another odd thing. And also talking about testimony from the forensic psychologist, she pointed out that she did not find that Amber Heard exhibited any symptoms of somebody that suffered from PTSD.
In addition to looking for Ms. Heard's general mental status, any psychological issues that were present, I very specifically was assessing to determine whether post-traumatic stress disorder was present, and it was not.
And I think what Amber Heard's attorneys were trying to do was get her to say, oh yes, I saw signs that she may be suffering from PTSD, because oftentimes recipients of DV will have PTSD. But the forensic psychologist was very clear that she saw none of those symptoms or signs in Amber Heard. So that kind of wipes that whole defense away. Now, there are also some unusual things with Johnny Depp that people noticed in the courtroom. One was that he was bringing candy into the courtroom, and he had like a pile of gummy bears on his table, and he was like giving candy out in the courtroom. And he also was carrying this like black notebook with him, and during the testimony he was seen drawing like creatures and coloring them in. I'm guessing that may be something that's like therapeutic for him and it keeps him calm, but you know, that was something that people were talking about too. But overall, it's been some shocking testimony. There was one part that was really disgusting where Johnny Depp said that he had left Amber Heard's birthday party early and she got mad at him, so she put poop in the bed. And I guess at the time he had kind of laughed it off as like a prank.
It was a photograph of the bed, our bed, and on my side of the bed was human fecal matter. My initial response to that was, I laughed.
But really, if my significant other put poop in my bed, I wouldn't find it very funny, and I'd be pretty angry about it. But, you know, that was just another example of some of the bizarre stuff that's gone on in this relationship. And, you know, it's a very unhealthy relationship. Obviously, it was not at all what I would call normal. So, you know, certainly they're better off divorced. But, you know, we still have to hear Amber Heard's side of things. We can't really make a judgment now. But if I had to comment on what I've seen, I think Johnny Depp's legal team did a really good job in getting his argument across. And I think the evidence for him was pretty good. There was also one instance where Amber Heard's attorney was questioning his own witness, and at one point the witness started to say something in answer to a question, and the attorney objected to his own question and his own witness.
You didn't know what could cause damage to Mr. Depp's hand while you were there on March 8th, correct?
Dr. Kipper told me he'd sustained an injury on one of his fingers.
Objection, hearsay.
Wait, you asked the question.
Okay.
By saying that it was hearsay, and it's like, well, you could do that if it's like the other person's witness, but it's not normal for you to ask questions of your own witness and then object to what their answer is. You know, you have to let them answer the question. you can't just object to what they're saying. You should have prepped the witness, and the witness should be knowing what's coming. You know, you can't, and let me just clarify, you do not tell people how to testify. As an attorney, I can tell you, you never, ever tell people they should say this or they should say that. You can kind of prep them for what they might expect for questioning in the courtroom, but you should never, ever tell them what they should say. When I started out my legal career for the first 3 years, I worked in criminal defense, and I worked with mostly indigent clients. And the one thing you never, ever want your client to do is tell you whether or not they're guilty. Because if they tell you they're guilty, you can't put them on the stand and then have them say that they're not guilty, because then you're guilty of suborning perjury. But anyways, so that's where we stand. So, you know, we're only partway through the trial. We have a lot more testimony to come. We'll have to see as this winds down where we stand in terms of whose evidence is better or stronger, and we can comment on that, you know, when that point comes. But for now, I want to say I really appreciate all of you being here. We're doing great. We're getting a lot of good response. The numbers of subscribers are going up. Please like, subscribe, and leave me comments down below. I want to know, what do you think so far? What do you think about all this weird crap that's been going on? And do you think that Johnny Depp's team is doing a good job? Do you think Amber Heard is going to put evidence forward that's going to totally make things turn her way? I'd really like to know. So tell me down below. But again, thank you so much. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next one. Today is a special appearance. I've got Olivier, otherwise known as Squirt. He's my little buddy. He's my favorite little boy. But anyway, so the other cats are all sleeping.
Pretty please. Subscribe, like, and hit the bell. I get a treat for every new sub. Thank you.